Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights. I am your host, Dearjames, and I am incredibly excited to share with you this 1 year anniversary show, an episode. It's been, the Lady Jacqueline and I began this journey last year, November 17th, 2021. And of course, today is November 16th, 2022. So it is literally exactly the 365th day, the 1 year anniversary of Weekly Wisdom and Insights. And the Lady Jacqueline and I couldn't be more happy and honored to have walked this journey with you and continue to walk this journey. As life ebbs and flows, I'm going to share an announcement that the Lady Jacqueline has been off for some time, as you all know. And that is due to a lot of life events and changing and ebbing and flowing. And so as we move forward, as we begin season 2, I'm going to be taking the helm solo on Weekly Wisdom and Insights. And sometime in the new year, the Lady Jacqueline and I are going to create a new show, most likely on Thursdays. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue on with you solo with Weekly Wisdom and Insights, and just come together as we do and share the weekly wisdom and the energies and take your questions live and see what the unseen has to say and how it guides us and moves us forward. So again, thank you all so much for joining us with our 1 year anniversary show. Very excited. And as you know, we often say, hello, Elizabeth, and good morning to you as well. And thank you. Happy anniversary. Thank you to you. And, please place in the comments that you're joining us, where you may be joining us from. And then remember, throughout the broadcast, put your comments and your questions in, and we will take them all live. So the main theme for these current energies, and let's just bring up our beautiful moniker that it is about the current energies, intuitive insights, and human design. That's what we've been doing. Going forward, it'll be current energies and intuitive insights. And the month of November, powerful numbers like we talked about last week, because we're in an 11 month. And of course, it's 2022. So we have the 11 and the 22. These are both master numbers. The 11 is the most intuitive number, and the 22 is the most powerful number. And so as we are kind of rounding out, completing, migrating forward this month, because an 11, because the 12 in December, the 12 is about utopia. And so it's that culmination and completion of something. And 2023, big smile on my face. Let me bring that up so you can see. Big smile on my face, that the energies of this ending, this completion of the cycle, and the new, and how we've just come off the heels of the eclipse season, and how those reverberate, ripple out for the next good 90 days to 6 months and so forth. So as we move into 2023, powerful current energies and so forth moving us. It's literally that's transforming us. That's the word I wanted. And so, hello, Brigitte. Thank you so much. Gratitude and thank you. Ditto, ditto, ditto to all of you. Hello, Elizabeth, as well. So, big energies this month. And today, it's very interesting because today is the 16th. And as we spoke out, I'm going to bring this up. As we spoke last week, the eclipses, the most recent eclipse that was literally on November 8th, it's on the axis of Taurus and Scorpio at 16 degrees. And so we touched a lot on this last week. However, what we slightly mentioned, but it's coming back to the fore now as the main theme, is hexagram 16 is enthusiasm. And you can see how at the degree, the moon was conjunct Uranus at 16 degrees. Opposite it was Mercury and the sun, Mercury at 15 degrees, the sun at 16 degrees. So this theme of 16, and 16 is about enthusiasm. And so this energy of the eclipses, this energy of enthusiasm, and they're just wanting me to go right to this for a second. Let me just find it and bring it up. I'm going to see, and there it is. Hello. So enthusiasm, it's an image if you're listening and not watching. It's an image of multiple doorways going down a hallway, kind of extending back with this beautiful white light at the far recesses. And it says enthusiasm opens many doors. And so it's to remember that your enthusiasm, our shared enthusiasm, ripples outward, and it opens opportunities. It opens doorways for you, for us. And so this main theme of enthusiasm and how the eclipses are enhancing that, they're really bringing it about. Because again, remember, as you're looking at this total lunar eclipse calendar from cafeastrology.com, the North Node, which is in Taurus, you see it's conjunct with the moon. North Node is where we're going, and it's in Taurus. So this occurred and Taurus is an earth sign. And so it's about things that are tangible. This is a tangible enthusiasm and a tangible energy, a tangible opportunity. And we could say plurals too, opportunities. And then opposite it in Scorpio is where the sun was, but now it's still there. So what you're not seeing on that chart is the South Node, and the South Node is all about what we're releasing. And so anything that's been weighing you down, holding you back, mental constructs, relationships, people, places, things, energies, these are the things we're releasing, we're cleansing, we're purifying, we're releasing. And it's that beautiful, the image that they're showing me is, it's the word namaste, and it's where we bow to one another. Namaste literally means I bow to the divine in you. So whether it's a person, a place, a thing, whatever you are releasing, keep in mind those two things. One is enthusiasm, the way forward, the North Node, the tangible result, enthusiasm. Enthusiasm opens many doors. And what you're releasing with great reverence, with great grace and reverence and respect and care, namaste. I bow to the divine in you. Thank you for playing your role. Thank you for being my mirror, my reflection. Thank you for opening my eyes, my heart, my mind, my wisdom. And you're going to see how that word plays out, wisdom. Because all of this really is about wisdom, a better way forward. And so enthusiasm is our key, is our word. It's the key. There, they just said it. Enthusiasm is our key. It's what unlocks the doors. And so keep that in mind, because the first thing they said is a perpetual state of awe, wonder, stillness in knowing, unity, and enthusiasm. That's a lot. So coming up, what we're moving into, North Node, where we're going, is a perpetual state of awe, wonder, stillness in knowing, unity, and enthusiasm. It's like, see, they're giving me the trigram, the trinity, the trifecta. And remember, we talked about we're the head, the mind, the ego, the mind, the personality, the heart, and the soul. They're going to be unified. They're going to be one. They're going to operate as one. So there won't be a tape delay. There won't be a confusion or a contrast or a conflict. Because remember, let's look at that. This whole month where it's leading us, the November energies are leading us, peace and enthusiasm, peace at the top, enthusiasm as the foundation, and we're squeezing out, we're transforming conflict. Peace and enthusiasm are pressing down on conflict so as to release it, purify it, eliminate it. Scorpio, South Node, Scorpio, the eclipses, what we're releasing conflict, releasing that separation between the mind, the knowing, the soul, and the heart. Those three have been operating independently, if you will, and can be in conflict with one another. Well, now we're moving into an era, an energy, a space, a time where those three are in concert with one another. They're in harmony with one another. They're in concert and balance with one another. No more conflict. It's just a knowing, a perpetual state of awe, wonder, stillness in knowing, unity, and enthusiasm. Now, I don't know about you all, but I am ready. So Let me know if you, yes, a thumbs up there. Yes, exactly. And let me know how this is speaking to you and everything. You can place it in the comments. The second thing they said about this moment and everything is they said moments, so plural, moment and moments of reckoning. And I'm bringing up this image. It's the hourglass. It's the eagle, the higher octave of Scorpio. And it says reckoning, the time when one is called to account for one's actions, to pay one's debts, or to fulfill one's promises or obligations. 2022 is a 6 year. Conflict, destiny. We've been talking about this for the whole year. And so again, while all of these apply, there's also a really specific delineation between it's the time when one is called to account for one's actions. If your actions have been in a negative column, it's time to account for them, because we've got to release them. We've got to purify them. We've got to move forward. It's to pay one's debts. What might we owe another, but also what might we owe ourselves? Are the stories and the scripts that we've been telling ourselves, have they been holding us back, holding us down, keeping us in a state of needing to account for our actions? Or to fulfill one's promises or obligations, a promise to yourself, a promise to another, a soul promise, a soul obligation, a higher calling, a higher active, a higher outcome, a higher desire. And remember, this applies person, business, institution, governance. It applies because all of those things operate based on people, individuals. There is no company without people. There is no government without people. There is no such institution without people. And so these stories, these storylines, these weekly wisdoms they come for all of us. They're for all of us. And so they said it's a moment or moments of reckoning. The time when one is called to account for one's actions, to pay one's debts, or to fulfill one's promises or obligations. And the beauty of this, again, look at the two images. The sands in the hourglass where the time has come, and the eagle. This beautiful image of the eagle, of a higher octave, a higher way. And thereby, it's leading us, it's guiding us. And remember, native peoples, right? They watched, they knew, they were so connected to Mother Earth and Spirit and the animal kingdom and so forth. They would watch. So they knew to go as guided. They knew to watch the signs. And the eagle is the higher octave of Scorpio. So we're, in that sense, South Node, Scorpio, and the death card. Okay, so the death card in the tarot represents Scorpio. Symbolic death, the symbolic releasing of the old, what no longer serves you, what no longer serves us, the collective whole. Because again, as we move, as destiny, the arc of destiny moves us forward, the ideal of the old, the ideal is the new reality. And you can see where a constant state of awe and wonder and grace and stillness and knowing and unity and enthusiasm and goodness. That's the ideal. That's what we all have been striving for all of this time, for millennia. Well, now it becomes the new reality. And it's, as they said, remember, here's this beautiful quote, when we suspend the reality we are in or believe we are in, a new reality emerges. And that came from the unseen. That came from Source. So really excited about the enthusiasm of it, and the purity and the truth of it. We are still on our beta version. See, they're still working out the kinks and the glitches upstairs. No, it's perfected. It's divine. So that's, Earth time and divine time, two different things. But bear with us as we are working with this new software and everything for these weekly wisdom and insights. So as we move forward, it's these moments of reckoning. Be okay with that. There's nothing to fear in that. We all have moments of reckoning, moments of truth, moments of, balancing the scales, the harmony, creating harmony. Allow it to occur willingly, with grace and ease, with enthusiasm, even when it's tough. Because again, life, death, birth, it's messy. Life can be messy. That doesn't mean it needs to be negative or horrible. And so don't tell yourself that story. When it happens, stand, respond, don't react. And stand there and say, because it can be a positive one too, right? I mean, a reckoning can be something that propels you forward in the most positive ways. Or it can also be, quote unquote, a bill due, a payment due. Okay, well, either one is divine and neutral. It's just how we perceive it. It's how we respond and react to it. It's how we willingly embrace or defiantly reject or push back. It's our choice. And so the days of, these moments of reckoning are there for us. And we want to remember that, because what's on the other side of this? And it's the third thing they said is it's Independence Day. And I'm going to bring up, because the unseen guided me to do a Facebook post. It was back on October 20th, and it's on my Dearjames Facebook page. And it said, "Let freedom ring, let the white dove sing. Let the whole world know that today is a day of reckoning. Let the weak be strong, let the right be wrong. Roll the stone away, let the guilty pay. It's Independence Day." And these are lyrics that were written by Gretchen Peters. It's a famous song that was performed by Martina McBride. And then they went on to give me this information that said, "There's a mighty moment of change upon us as the winds of fate, the moray, advance us to our promised destiny. Spilling forth from the water-bearer's care," Aquarius, the water-bearer's care, "each unto their own receive their share. Wisdom, having made its release from the heavens, bestows upon all both the opportunity and the promise of a higher octave of being." And remember, wisdom is the Holy Spirit. Wisdom is source. It emanates and it permeates us through the Holy Spirit. Intentional in its aim and purpose, deliverance finds its target. Its potency pure, its destination eternal. Rise to the occasion as its Independence Day. So again, this was given to me back on October 20th, and it's showing up and tying in today in terms of the overall enthusiasm, the song, and they said independence, it's Independence Day. Follow your dreams, your bliss, with an exclamation point. Make no excuses, tell yourself no stories. And so really what they're saying to us here is it's Independence Day. It's time for us to release the shackles. So the devil card in the tarot, it's the masculine, divine masculine, divine feminine, standing in their nakedness, their newness, their pureness, but they are shackled. And it's about releasing that. It's about no longer telling us, no longer making excuses for why we can't do something, no longer telling ourselves stories that keep us held down, held back, or a story that says that we know what the other person's going to do. That's based on that script, that program, that programming. It's like a hamster on the wheel, right? Because we have a relation, we're in relation with something, someone, someplace, we tell ourselves that we know what they're going to do, or we know what the outcome is going to be, without ever having chosen it. So here they're saying to us, it's Independence Day. Follow your dreams, follow your bliss. Make no excuses, tell yourself no stories. One could almost say, tell yourself no lies. Because again, the reality, a new reality emerges when we suspend the one we're in or believe we're in. So don't prejudge your experience. It may end up being exactly what you thought it was going to be. However, we'll never know. You'll never know until you actually do it. And as long as you're doing things, do no harm, purity of intention. What is your intention? And as long as the purity of your intention is present, it's pure, then you're not harming. You're making sovereign divine choices for yourself so as to move forward. Namaste, I bow to the divine in you, whoever or whatever or whomever it may be, because it's Independence Day. I'm no longer going to hold myself back or down or tell myself a story, a script, a programmed experience. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna follow my bliss, and thereby, and let everyone make their divine sovereign decisions based on the reality of the experience, not the perceived experience or the perceived outcome or the fear of what that it might be. So, because again, we have these moments of reckoning, and you can see how these are interwoven. Moments of reckoning, it's Independence Day, and I just want to bring this up because it is our mantra. This is your mantra for this month and going forward. The mantra, as you see it on the screen, it's a beautiful starburst of sunlight, this starlight really, and it says it's Independence Day. And so, feel free to screen capture this image and put it up so that it's a reminder. Every time you're making a choice, a decision, you're contemplating something, remember to say to yourself, it's Independence Day. Like every day is Independence Day. And the more these come into harmony, the more that you're coming into your bliss, your dreams, enthusiasm is unlocking your doors, because anything's possible, right? Anything's possible unless we're telling ourselves a story, unless we are making excuses for ourselves. I have a dear friend and colleague where I was waiting to do these videos. In a sense, there was fear involved. I didn't like, I love being in interaction with everyone. That is where, for me, the source shines. And so I was holding myself back. I was telling myself a story. And this dear friend and colleague and I had been saying, let's do this together. And all of a sudden, this person, this dear friend and colleague, she just leapt forward and was doing them. And I was both stunned and hurt, not harmed, hurt, and quite indignant. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. What's going on here? Hold on. And then I had a reckoning moment with myself. I had a namaste moment with myself. I had great reverence. Okay, I think we're back. Here we are. So I had great reverence and gratitude for her because she showed me by actions, by her actions, what I was afraid to do or wasn't doing, how I was holding myself back. And it was that beautiful, profound moment of grace that it propelled me to doing this and to getting out of my own way, for me to not tell myself a story. And so that is a personal example of that I'm sharing with all of you, that we're talking about, that the unseen is talking about, that's on offer here. And that in our enthusiasm, and of course now I'm like, woo, I love this and I'm doing it. And you know, I've broken through. My enthusiasm opens the door. We face our fears, we walk through the fire, we follow our dreams, our bliss, and we allow enthusiasm to be the key that unlocks the way, that unlocks the doors. And thereby, all of it culminates. And then we're able to look and see. This is why I'm saying, look and see in these moments of reckoning, in what we're releasing, South Node, Scorpio, lower octaves. Because the higher octave, in the example I just gave, the eagle's eye is that she did everything perfectly, and she did everything for me as she was doing for herself. So in doing for herself, she did for me, she did for another. So this is where this Independence Day, you can see that we don't need to be fearful. We won't know what's on the other side, but the truth spoke for itself. In that moment, in the example that I just shared, the truth spoke. She didn't say a word, she just did. And I heard it loud and clear. And it was for me. So you can see by when we do things that our soul is meant to do, others will receive. So don't be fearful. Embrace it, be willing, be exuberant, be enthusiastic, and so forth. They're talking about the fourth thing they said, which is foundational, is they said wisdom beyond words. And they said knowings, this word knowings. And they said, allow this presence to permeate every fiber of your being. And I sat for a while with what is the word? Because words matter, right? The importance of words. Wisdom beyond words, these knowings. And it said, allow this, and I was like, what is this? Because I allow this blank to permeate every fiber of your being. And I'm like, what's the word? And finally it was this word, presence. That wisdom, divine spirit, Holy Spirit, wisdom, source, knowing is a presence. Yes, it's an energy. However, it's also a presence. And when we are open, because wisdom beyond words, picture speaks 1,000 words, wisdom beyond words. Wisdom is about it's a knowing. We just know it. And remember the Trinity, the trigram. Ego, mind, personality, heart, soul source connection, operating as one. This is a knowing, which is a presence. It is a divine presence. It is a divine energy, presence, reality, way of being. So they're saying to allow that presence, this presence, to permeate every fiber of your being. Because again, if they're disconnected, when they're disconnected, it can be problematic. When they're in unity, in alignment, in harmony, it's a knowing. We just know, and we follow the knowing. And so, because remember, as we go to this, I want to bring this up. The enthusiasm, the wisdom beyond words, the knowing, the enthusiasm. And we used this image a couple shows back. It's the beautiful carousel and the carnival tent, the hot air balloons, the whimsical horses, this enthusiasm, this opportunity, this way of being. And one can say that it's fairy tale-esque, and yet how awesome is that? How awesome, because what it inspires, in addition to enthusiasm, is our imagination, is our awe and wonder, is our possibilities. Anything's possible. And so when I tell myself it's Independence Day, when I just know this and I operate from that base, anything's possible. So, and you see across the main 10, it says exceeding. It's about exceeding beyond what's currently known. It's about exceeding limitations. It's about exceeding old scripts, old stories, old truths, old ways. It's about exceeding the old reality and opening ourselves to a whole new way, a whole new wonder. And so that is where, and let me know, you all are being really quiet. You're either really taking this all in or, so put in the comments. Kelly says yes. Put in the comments how this is resonating, questions, comments on all of this, or where you are. Guaranteed, we are going to exceed the limitations of this beta software. I promise you, we are going to exceed the limitations. So you can see it. The unseen brings it in for us exactly how they want it. They give us real-time examples, and here's the exceeding aspect. So the last thing before we jump into the hexagram 16, enthusiasm, they said, endless optimism, question mark. Well, they said, they said endless optimism, and then they said pie in the sky, question mark, meaning, is it fantasy? Is it not real? Is it just pie in the sky? Or eternal truth, exclamation point. So this endless optimism, it's not pie in the sky unless you wish it, will it, desire it to be. This endless optimism, this enthusiasm, this endless optimism is eternal truth. Again, the ideal becomes the new reality. And thereby, in the big tent image of exceeding, we exceed beyond what's currently known. We are clearing out, decluttering, clearing out, cleansing, removing. Do it with joy. Do it with an open heart. Do it willingly. You don't want to be on the receiving end of a cosmic 2x4 whack. Trust me, been there, done that. Don't want it. It's not fun. And so, because the new reality that is emerging is this perpetual state of awe, wonder, stillness and knowing, unity and enthusiasm. It has the power of the 11, of the 22, of the 23. Next octave up, next state of being. And this beautiful state of divine. We started this show. We started this journey a year ago with the lead show saying, talking about leading with the divine feminine in 2022 and beyond. This is her grace, her empowerment, her promise, her opportunity, her enthusiasm, her way, the way. That's what we're talking about here. And it's about returning to this. It's about not elevating to it. It is a return per se. And yet, because we've not experienced it in millennia, in ages, It is new. It is an ascended state of being and opportunity. And yet what it calls for is harmony, balance, unity, grace, kindness, goodness. The old patriarchal ways, the Piscean era, is going to be cleansed, purged, purified. It's never about eradicating the darkness, the void, the shadow, the patriarchal. It's not about killing it, ignoring it. It's never about that, nor is it like that with the divine feminine. It is about bringing about the purity and the harmony of them, yin and yang, the light, the white, the purity, and the void. It is about that. And that's why this eclipse on the axis, on the Taurus-Scorpio axis, Taurus, Earth, I'm saying that again because it is tangible. It will absolutely be a tangible effect, result. And Scorpio, the scorpion being the lower aspect, the shadow element, it's one of, I think, only two astrological signs, possibly three, I'm trying to remember, that have a double attribute. So you have the Scorpio and you have the eagle. Higher octave. The eagle is the eagle's eye, the higher octave. So let me bring in some of your comments before we go to the hexagram 16, enthusiasm. Elizabeth Ann Sherbaugh, she's saying, I used to be so connected, but I have become addicted to security. Remember, Elizabeth, and for everybody listening, addicted to security. The belief of that is an illusion. The I am of your being, of your resonance, of your soul source connection is real, is true. So becoming addicted to security leaves you vulnerable, because that addicted to security is an illusion. You're safe and secure because of your soul source connection, because of your I am beingness, being. Sit with source, sit with God, sit with grace, and commune, soul source. Introduce yourself. Speak internally, quietly, about what your fears are. Why are you addicted to security? And then allow the wisdom beyond words, the knowing, this presence to permeate every fiber of your being. Not the fear, not the mental story, construct, script, but your soul source connection. In that, it's the soul, S-O-L-E, S-O-U-L, it's the soul relationship we come into life with, we will leave life with. So allow it to be your constant companion. Allow it to be your security, your faith, your security. That's a foundation beyond measure. That is one that is not an illusion. So Kelly is saying yes, yes, yes. Elizabeth Ann also said, your words are coming into me directly. So truly blessed to be here now. Likewise, for all of you, this has been such a blessing and a journey that you all every week come and spend your time with me, with us, with the Lady Jacqueline and I, as you have. Beyond measure blessed. So right back at you. Elizabeth O'Doherty, it is all on point to how I am feeling in some respects. I feel like I am worried about money, but opportunities just keep coming forward. I know that if I am my authentic self, I will open myself to new opportunities. Exactly. I want to bring up this beautiful image again because it's so powerful. Enthusiasm opens many doors. It opens doorways inside of us. And look how, like this image just makes me smile, like I'm beaming, because look how many doors, dunk, 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 all the way back. So beautiful, so a clear a path, unobstructed path. And remember, they said last week, come next week, you are cleared for takeoff. Runway is clear, open, unobstructed. Take flight. Or run away, hide, cower, give up. Well, I don't know about you all, but looking at this image of these multiple doorways with that brilliant white source light way in the distance of just illuminating the pathway, and knowing that my enthusiasm, your enthusiasm, is the key. It opens many doors. That's the lane. This is the lane to stay in. This is the lane to walk in. So as Elizabeth is talking about where there might be a fear about, money or something, well, when I remove my focus from that and I realign my focus to this lane, this runway for takeoff, and I allow my enthusiasm, and be clear, is a virtue as we progress here. So remember, allow your focus to stay on the lane. We are cleared for takeoff. It's unobstructed. As Elizabeth was saying in her comment, allow this because the opportunities keep coming. Fear is a story. It's an energy. Fear is your friend. Just move past it with grace and ease. Elizabeth Ann is saying, I know the changes are happening, but I am so afraid of what I might be losing. I waffle between knowing and confusion. Very powerful. Remember, should you be losing something, remember these reckonings, they're all there to move you forward. The fear is in the fact that you don't know what's on the other side. That was what I was sharing earlier in my personal example. However, once we walk through the fire, once we see it with great grace and ease meaning we allow, right? It's simply our allowing that allows something to come to us. We're either inviting it in, we're looking at ourselves internally, not out. We're looking at what role are they playing for us. So if I'm afraid of losing something, someone, something, someplace, do you have a knowing that it's meant to go? I'm going to say 10 times out of 10, we know. It's simply the fear that keeps us held in place. It's the fear of not knowing what's on the other side of that. It's the old idiom. It's the beast we know. We know the beast we know. We don't know what's on the other side. So the ego mind personality negotiates, barters, tries to tell itself, no, this, that, and we elongate our suffering. We elongate what we know is meant to be released. And so the more that we're able to stay out of confusion, stay in clarity, soul source knows. Ego mind will battle with you, but allow it to say, you know what? It's okay. It's going to be okay. Because what you're doing when you release it, well, you've just opened up all that space for something new. We are not meant to stay stagnant. We are not meant to stay confined and boxed in. We are not meant to not grow and evolve and ascend and transcend. So, clean house. Open, and that's a great way. If you're having, this fear like Elizabeth is speaking to about, the waffling between knowing and confusion. One of the simplest acts you can do is start decluttering a room, a closet, a space, your car, anything that will move you to help you get into the mindset, the energy, the mentality, the physicality of cleansing, purifying, having these reckoning moments to where you don't fear it. And then it will translate to other greater, larger opportunities, reckonings, and so forth. Elizabeth is saying balance and thank you. Elizabeth O'Darley said, I realized that I have had a void that I now recognize. I think that was the home void in my gut. It's been a topic this week. Yes, and they've often said this to me. The unseen has often said this to me. It's an idiom. Home is where the heart is, but the home is the North Star. Your home, your true home, is the North Star. Meaning, be at home wherever you are. Easier said than done at times, I'm fully aware. And yet, be at home. There's another idiom, bloom where you're planted. So, and the beauty of plants, they can be literally in Mother Earth, in the soil, or they can be in potted plants and they can be gifted and they move, they're movable, and then they get replanted and then they take a piece of the vine from it and it goes on. See, it's a constant movable feast. So allow home to be wherever you are. Soul source connection. Kelly is saying, take your hands off the wheel. Here we go. Exactly. Jesus, take the wheel. Take your hands off the wheel. That's exactly it. And Elizabeth, yes, have been decluttering for months. There we go. It's this purifying. Brigitte saying, I'm clearing out our basement right now. Decided I'm selling the house in February. See? Advance. The unknown, yeah, it can be terrifying, but oh my gosh, how exciting as well, right? Because again, there's a whole new you just waiting to be experienced, to be seen, to be felt, to materialize. There it is. And the only thing that prevents us from that is our own reckoning. It's not the reckoning with another. It's our own reckoning with self. Why have I stayed? What story did I tell myself? What truth did I make up that kept me boxed in, kept me where I am, kept me in this relationship, kept me in this friendship, kept me in this job, kept me. They wanted one more. So, and once we namaste, thank you. It's purposeful. That aspect of your being served a purpose. Once you have a knowing, you go, it's not my purpose anymore. It's a knowing, it's a reckoning, it's a self-reckoning, and it's a release. Cleanse it with grace, with gratitude, and open the way. Because as Brigitte cleared out the basement, selling the house, that lane with all those doorways of opportunity, the key is there, the enthusiasm. Just open them. Keep going. Keep finding. Be inquisitive. I'm trying to get the right word about who you are on the other side of that. Who might you become? Who are you on the other side of that? So allow the intrigue and the imagination of it and the inspiration of it and the opportunity of it to flower, to unfold. Because otherwise we're holding ourselves in place. Or we're the hot air balloon that's tethered. We need the hot air balloon, as they are in this beautiful image. We need them to take flight. We need to exceed, big tent, we need to exceed our old story, our old script, our old selves, because that's what the new is. Elizabeth O'Darley, yes, talking about it is moving me to a new headspace. Yes! And Elizabeth Ann is saying, in a way, it is me coming back to me I have always known. It is coming back to the me I've always known. I just hid her. Exactly. Pull her out, dust her off, and say thank you. Because whatever time you were hiding, it was still purposeful. It still has great value, because in this moment where you're ready to transition, you're ready to exceed, you're able to see her, the one that was limited and the one that was there before that you hid. You're able to utilize both of them, to have them as mirrors, to say, thank you, I bow to the divine in you, and we're going this way. That's epic brilliance. And that's for everyone. It is a truth for everyone. Brigitte is saying, I can't explain it, but I have this overall trust and knowing now over the last 2 weeks. It's beautiful, exciting, and expansive. Yes, because when you rise up to meet your future self, he, she, they're already there. You've cleared the way and you've signaled to the universe, to the unseen, to Spirit, Source, Symphony, your guides, I'm ready. Let's do this. And again, remember to listen. Stillness and knowing, soul source connection. There might be, like with the show, the connection, the challenges. There might be challenges. Of course, this is life. This is how we grow through experience. It's how we deal with the challenges. And yet there's a knowing that says, we're cleared for takeoff. The way is open. It's unobstructed. It's clear. My enthusiasm for XYZ, put a tag on it, will guide me and lead me. Because it's endless optimism. It's not pie in the sky. It's eternal truth. It's an eternal truth. That my endless optimism, my enthusiasm will open doorways, will lead me and guide me to. And I just have to do the necessary works. Brigitte, cleaning out the basement, because that's what's required. You want it to be in its most perfect state. You want it to be beautiful. You want it to not be cluttered. And what does that say to someone? Ooh, yeah, look at this. Look how spacious this property is. Look at how clean and well maintained. Oh, well, it's really worth what they're asking. Yes. Elizabeth Ann, your words are like water to quench my thirst. All due credit to the divine, to the unseen. They move through, and I'm so grateful, because yes, they do. They quench our thirst. And Brigitte, always a pleasure, everyone, for these weekly talks. Have an amazing week. So, mindful of the time, I'm going to jump in really quickly on going to, if I can get to it, here we are. Sorry, I'm a little bit, we're going to go to hexagram 16, and we're going to talk about, it's called You, YU, and its action is to excite, its hidden influence is 39, obstruction, and meaning to innovate. So the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, the way is clear, it's unobstructed. So we're to innovate. And then its underlining cause is hexagram 9, small restraint, surrender, as we were talking about taking our hands off the wheel. And so it says, when you make your home in the inevitable, you will arrive exactly where you need to be. And there's a quote here, by Ovid, and it says, chance is always powerful. Let your hook always be cast. In the pool where you least expect it, there will be fish. And so both of these are talking about the fact when you make your home in the inevitable, it's possible, it's inevitable. You'll arrive exactly where you need to be. There may be, again, hiccups, bumps, whatever, but they're opportunities. Challenges, they're AKA opportunities. Just walk with grace and ease, because you know it's inevitable. I will arrive where I'm meant to be. And that chance is powerful. Let your hook always be cast. Be open. Be willing, be actively participating in this inevitability. Because where you least expect it, there will be fish. Which also means, again, we're making space for how. The how is always source. The literal how is always source. So just make space for how it comes in, how it presents itself, and then be willing to go forth. Lastly, it says, you shows thunder over earth, which can bring new energy and inspiration to your situation. In ancient times, people gathered around the fire at the end of winter, sharing stories meant to jar the clan from stagnation. In ancient China, Chen, or thunder, was believed to ignite the seeds into rebirth. Yu was believed to be the energy that connects people to the gods. It is associated with art and music and any inspirational work that ignites our imagination and lifts us out of this world for a while. Well, it lifts us out of this world into a new. The trick is to work with this enthusiastic and inspired energy in a way that you don't become lost in it. See, this is where, again, its enthusiasm is a grounded force. It is not pie in the sky. If you're just pie in the sky and, kind of losing your way, you become lost. But when you use enthusiasm in a grounded way, in an inspired opportunity, it's literal, I'm listening, stillness, knowing, I'm executing, well, then it's an eternal truth. That's what they're talking about here. So, in essence, you can be a warning to take off your rose-colored glasses if you are still waiting for that answer when all signs have already told you all you need to know. So this is, again, being mindful. What do we know? I believe it was Elizabeth Ann, like that thing between confusion and knowing. When we know, we know. Don't keep asking, don't keep searching and hoping and wanting another answer. If all the signs point to an answer, a knowing, you've got it. Now use your enthusiasm to do what needs to be done, to go, to move forward. When you place preconceptions against the ability to see what is, you may suffer disappointment. So again, this is where take your hands off the wheel. Don't allow your preconceptions to block you or to keep you back. Recognize, see it, and allow, it's coming this way, not that way. Okay, let's go. Because they're always, again, master weaver. We're the guest, and the host is the master weaver. You is a child riding an elephant joyously. The child is the taming of the small, or the small restraint, like the weak force in the universe that holds much of life together. It was your joy or willingness to meet life face to face with innocent excitement that generated this opportunity. The child doesn't know, so operates without preconceptions. Another way I would say this is when we're childlike. Master Jesus says, you want to enter the kingdom of heaven? Be childlike. The child doesn't know, but the child does know. The child knows. It's in the present moment. And so the child operates without any preconceptions. It's only the experience, the life experience, the interactions that begin to tell that program the script, the story. So this is what this is speaking to. Be childlike. And do so knowing anything's possible. The child has no limitation. The child doesn't know that it's not possible. The child doesn't have a script. The script is source. Or the guide is source. Allow that to permeate. This is the innovation suggested by the hidden influence of obstruction. Trusting the wild and powerful element can be both good and less than good. Enthusiasm needs to be grounded in moderation. Otherwise, it can lead to escapism and pipe dreams. So again, this is talking about the fact that wisdom, enthusiasm, it's like using enthusiasm with wisdom. knowing that anything, it's not about shattering a belief. It's just knowing if you think that you're pursuing something and all the signs keep coming to say, you go that way, not this way, but you keep trying to go this way, or you keep waiting, or you keep... Well, now we're in escapism. We're in pipe dreams because the universe is answering you. They're guiding you this way. Follow, be led. Trusting soul source connection. You are asked to connect with this innocent enthusiasm for inspiration and to inspire others. And don't forget, this is a beautiful thing, like the example I used earlier in the show. My dear friend and colleague, she represented through her independent action. What she really did was inspire and offered enthusiasm. I had to get past my momentary blip of hurt to see the huge favor she did for me. And once I did, off to the races, off I went. So remember that you inspire others through your Independence Day. It's Independence Day. Through your independent action, you will inspire others. There may be momentary moments where they're not happy with that. But that's okay. It's only because it's reflecting what they're not doing themselves. That was my case. Once there's the truth. And that truth spoke, and I moved on. I moved through. And it was because of her. And then, of course, secondarily, me, because I chose after that. So this is where this all comes together. This hexagram combines how walking the path, allowing life to guide you, and meeting experience innocently will create the joy and enthusiasm that makes all things possible. So this is where we are in this amazing month of November, where, and truly, by the way, last but not least, 16, today the 16 is a 7. And remember, they told us back on September 7th, 7 is the foundation of God's word. It represents completion and or divine fulfillment, fullness, completeness. They said last week, come next week, you're cleared for takeoff. The path is unobstructed. So we have beautiful, powerful energies that are guiding and leading us onward, forward. Be ever so open and enthusiastic, and yet grounded in grace and wisdom. I can't wait to see you all next week. We will launch season 2 of Weekly Wisdom and Insights, and I will be your ongoing host for that. And I cannot wait to share and see what occurs as we continue to kind of close out this year, 2022, and really leap forward into 2023. Thank you all again so much for your patience, your grace, and the deep gratitude I have for all of you to share your time with me. So thank you so much. Love you all dearly. Cannot wait to see you next week. Namaste.